So listen, Disney girls have a reputation, right, for basically starting off very wholesome and then eventually getting, I guess you would call it, turned out. Don't get caught up in the words.
Don't you know about the Disney girls?
It's the concept. It's the concept. There's this concept of, oh, Disney girls gone wild, and that's like the fantasy of every young man who has posters on their wall. Yeah. No, I'm not saying like the tape itself, although some of them do come out, but like it's like it's interesting to me, like how that is something that I.
Well, I mean, I think it's probably akin to like what you think of when it comes to like private school girls or girls that go to all girls schools. I mean, it was definitely a thing because since I was raised in that environment, went to an all boys Catholic school, and my sisters all went to an all girls school. You get that sense that there's kind of like this like heightened sexual tension because they're not around.
They're so in a bubble.
In this bubble and yeah. Anyway,
so let's break it down. There's a fascination with what is the opposite of.
For sure. Well, I think that it's at least in regards to like this Disney thing that happens with young people, whether it's men or women, but it's definitely happens to I think the younger girls more is they're put in this box that at some point they don't fit anymore, and their goal and like and you kind of you act out against it, you rebel against the box you've been put in.
And you also have the whole like industry supporting that change. They're like, oh, I can make money off of you.
Yeah, I mean, yes or no. I mean, Miley Cyrus went way. I don't think anyone was saying go crazy. That was her. I think finding her own lane.
Mm-hmm. But that's a bit of every actor, I feel like, especially like look at me. Like you do Even Stevens Beans, which is generally a kids show, and then you do Weeds, which is probably wouldn't show that to my kids. That's generally what an actor. Yeah, well, I think you want to play different roles.
You're not going to have that problem if you are fortunate enough to be an actor that doesn't start off in an industry that is entirely focused on children's entertainment.
Right.
And so when you start off in an industry that's all about children's entertainment, you're kind of stuck in that space. And especially if you become really successful and really popular, it makes it even more difficult for that person to grow up. But people do it all the time. They go through that transition and then it becomes, I don't think it's so much the industry trying to push them that direction. It's just the media,
Sure, I feel that.
Grabbing at the, ooh, look how bad she's being,
I see. So there's a difference between industry and media.
Yeah, and it happens, I think, more so to young women who are kind of like the poster child of like everything's sweet and innocent, and then now suddenly she's like, no, I want to crawl around on the ground or swing on a ball in my underwear. Mm-hmm. And people are like, what? It's like, yeah, she's a grown up now. She's a woman and she wants to explore how she wants to express herself, and she has more control now than she did when she was a 13-year-old girl.
See, it seems so interesting because to you that doesn't seem like a big deal. Like to you is like that's linear. Yeah. Like that's fine.
It is.
It's completely acceptable for you. And you have a bunch of sisters.
Yeah, my sisters didn't go through that world. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean that it's unacceptable for a woman to go through that. I think she definitely it's her right to do whatever she wants. The difference is most people when they're going through childhood aren't under a lens where they're constantly being scrutinized for how they act, how they dress, what kind of image they're presenting themselves as, especially when that image is making you money.
Right.
So then at some point you rebel against that and be like, no, I don't want to be that anymore. Mm-hmm. I want, and you have the power and the ability to shape shift. Mm-hmm. And that freaks some people out. And it becomes great magazine covers to sell.
I came in like a wrecking ball.
It also is great posters for Steven's walls.
Exactly. For young dudes that want to hang on the wall.
Maybe I want to be naked.
Young or old dudes, who knows?
I was actually curious. Yeah, how was your transition from being Beans? I mean, like, not just being Beans, but being young, perceived in a very young lens. Like,
it's interesting because the industry, that's all you know growing up. So, that's all you know, and that's what's normal. So when you maybe fall out of the limelight a little bit and start becoming, I guess, more of a real human being and not a child actor, it is a bit of a mind fuck. You might say.
Interesting.
Yeah, it had to be hard going from that to a sex symbol.
It is.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Would you ever have an OnlyFans?
Oh, God.
God.
Honestly, some people have honestly asked me about that, and no, God, no.
No.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had people reach out online.
Wait,
and
really?
Like, yeah. Oh yeah.
Who?
Beans Gone Wild.
Random dudes.
Beans is Frankenbeans.
Beans is Franken.
Let's put it this way: a woman has never asked if I have an OnlyFans. Let's put it that way.
What does that mean? Oh, a man?
Yeah, it's only guys. Only guys asking.
Well, wait
if I
a
have
minute. Did you
OnlyFans.
know there's a guy? I'm looking forward to interviewing him on Vulnerable's podcast. But his name is Dan Benson, and he was on Wizards of Waverly Place or something, right?
Oh, I've heard about him.
He's become a sex worker on OnlyFans and dedicates, and he's not, I don't think he identifies as gay, but he
Makes money off the industry.
and he gives it to Trevor Project. He gives like proceeds to fund, Trevor Project, which supports, gay youth. And so it's a very lovely and noble thing that he does. But he is a sex worker. You know what I'm
So
saying?
he has his wand out, is what you're saying.
He whips that wand around.
Oh.
And for a membership fee. Yes.
Well, lumos dicumos.
I love these like one-liners that you're
Wow.
saying. I'm feeling it.
I'm right next to him. I don't even know what the hell he's saying.
As long as you stop farting, that's all we care about, Nick.
What? Never.
Blew up your spot, buddy. I blew
Never.
up your spot. Okay, next question.
Thank God you can't smell through these mics.
Actually, I literally went to the bathroom and you made it smell better after you went to it. So. What
I
what
fart
is it?
roses.
All right, you guys.
All right, let's see the next one.
You want to do this one or you want to keep? We could skip around.
It's Amy Martin. It's Amy Martin. I think
It's Amy.
Yeah, it's Amy
Martin.
All right, I think we got your name right. It's Amy Martin. Not a question, but I just want to say thanks for making my childhood awesome. Aw,
How many? If
thank
you had
Aw.
a dollar every time someone said that to you, right?
I would be almost rich. I'd be almost rich.
How many times do you think someone has said that to you? Let's guess.
Oh gosh, I don't know.
I don't know, but
It's,
yeah.
it's the
How many
most.
times a year do you think? Okay, so let's break it down. How many times a month do you think somebody says it to you? I would say I probably get told that about 100 times a month. No, that's too much. What do you think?
Oh, that's nice.
All right, let's say about.
You're clearly
I'm saying social media.
way more popular.
No, it's social media. That's
Way
the
more
only
popular
reason.
than
That's
I
the
am.
only reason. So 50 times a month, let's say 50 times a month on social media, somebody says, "You're my childhood," right? Or if it's, and I post and I'm on and I comment a lot. That's why.
Yeah.
Okay, so 50 times a month times 12. I don't even know how much it is. So a lot. Times how many years?
600.
Yeah, it's just like thousands of times a year that you hear that. And that means, I hope that means that we've made tens of thousands and whatever people.
Whatever the number is, the hashtag here is Disney Golden Years, which we definitely.
I told
agree.
you.
We all agree with that. But it is the most common response I get from anybody that knows the show, no matter what their like background is, walk of life, where they grew up. It's just it's kind of like. That's the common response from everybody, is that this was like a special time in their life that where life was good. Yeah. And it's really cool because there'll be times where, now our fans from the show are full grown adults with their own kids and their own family. Mm-hmm. And I will meet adult men who may not recognize me right away. And there's that little, male bravado kind of thing. And then all of a sudden when they realize who it is, they turn into like soft little teddy bears, and they're just so sweet and so grateful. And it's like, it makes me think of Jim Carrey. There's this one line that Jim Carrey said, like, I'll probably screw it all up, but he talks about what it's like being him. And he's like, imagine a world where every time you meet somebody, complete strangers, they always show the best of themselves to you. Like they always smile, they always laugh, like because
it's like being a teacher.
Because
like an elementary school
what
teacher.
Jim Carrey is to so many people in the world.
Well, maybe not nowadays, but
Yeah.
What Jim Carrey is to so many people in the world is like laughter and joy, and so that's all he sees when he meets people. He's like that's what his life is like. So he's so blessed to have that life.
that almost has to be corrupting.
Thanks so much for watching this episode of the Even More Stevens podcast. For clips from our pod, go ahead and check out the PodCo YouTube channel. And for exclusive weekly bonus content, join our Patreon. Links in the description.